Hello, this video is a demonstration on how to go about setting up and creating your electronic portfolio. So here we are at our Blackboard homepage, and most of the materials that you will need for assistance in setting up your portfolio will be contained in the portfolio information area of Blackboard. So here we are in the portfolio information area of Blackboard, and I expect that you will be reviewing all of these materials prior to developing your professional portfolio. Listed on this page is an explanation of what your professional portfolio should be. Your professional portfolio is a reflection and a demonstration of your competency as a professional educator with a specialty in library media education or educational technology. So it should represent your best work in both your writing and in the evidences that you provide for mastering standards. Now, your professional portfolio is to be submitted electronically, either on a CD, a DVD, or a flash drive, which will not be returned, and also submitted in a modified format to the electronic portfolio system. Now, we are assuming in this video that you have already developed and have had your portfolio planning document approved, so you know what evidences you need to provide, and you have the basic framework for your essay. Also, before you go about setting up your portfolio, it's good to go ahead and develop all the materials that you will need and have them all ready in one folder. So, for example, you need to develop your resume. You need to develop your personal education statement. You need to develop your standard essays, which include impact statements on how what you have done and the evidences that you have provided impact student learning. So, assistance for developing your personal education statement are contained in this folder. Help for developing the personal education statement. And there is information on reflective writing, because this will be a reflective piece. And there's information on the required content. Basically, you need to develop a 3 to 5 page personal education statement reflecting your development of knowledge, skills, and attitudes and experiences in educational technology or library media education. You need to include information about your life experiences, your overall professional beliefs, your contributions to your professional identity and connection to professional standards, and this personal education statement requires citations of professional resources as they connect to your professional experiences and overall philosophy. So in this folder we have a sample statement. We have suggested resources for developing your statement that you can use, information on accessing the library databases, and guidelines for the APA citation style. Also, here is the instructions and overall requirements for the reflective education statement, and you can post additional questions to Blackboard. Also, the other heavy writing requirement for the portfolio is writing the standards essays, and there is information included here for your standards essays. For your standard essay, you must write a well-organized, well-written 2 to 3 page double-spaced first-person essay on each standard indicator based on your professional planning document. So in each of the essays you must include a restatement of the standard indicator in your own words as an introduction, a brief description of your activities that you have chosen to meet the standard indicator, statements about how your activities and evidences are aligned with the standard, description of what you learn from engaging in the activities related to the standard indicator, and description of your impact, potential impact, or how what you are doing connects to best practices, how that has impacted student learning. And then at the bottom of the page, a link to evidences. And there is an example of a standard essay included. So, in this case, we have Standard 1.1, Knowledge of Learners and Learning. And you'll see that the first part of it is a general restatement of the standards. Then, the second part of it is a brief description of the evidences that have been provided and how they connect to the standard indicator. Then there is a paragraph of what was learned as a result of engaging in the activity. And then finally, the connection to student learning. Now, sometimes you have evidence where you have done a pre and a post analysis, so you can state a direct connection to student learning. Sometimes you don't have that information, but what you are doing is directly connected to student learning because it is part of a best body of knowledge we know as best practices, and I have a number of resources for you to pull from for getting information about best practices. And so in this case, the impact on student learning was that the students reach a proficient score, and that also research indicated that students who engage in their preferred learning styles perform better on student achievement and attitude assessments. So you can see how there are basically 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs in this essay, very simply and directly describing the standard, the evidence provided and the connection to the standard indicator, what you learned, how it impacts student learning. Very, very simple and straightforward. Okay, that is a little bit of information and an assistance for developing your standards essays. Now, once you get all your evidences and your personal education statement, your resume, your standards essays all together, what you need to do is to create your professional portfolio. And here are some detailed instructions. Notice that the professional portfolio must start with a table of contents. That's where I will be reviewing all of the information that is contained on the portfolio. And in the table of contents, you must include a link to your portfolio planning document, your resume, your personal education statement, your reflective essays, your self-evaluation according to the standard indicators, your list of evidences, which are a minimum of 2 per standard indicator, and documentation of the practicum. And this must be a digital storytelling presentation, and you can use a variety of formats in order to do that. You must include on your portfolio a video of you working with students during the practicum, and this video can be included in the digital storytelling presentation, or it can be a separate piece depending on what kind of program you use for your digital storytelling. Some allow videos, some don't. So either the practicum documentation is going to be one document, or it will be two, but they will be multimedia and very rich in describing your experiences during the practicum setting. Now we will go over the technical aspects of setting up the portfolio in a little bit, but I just wanted to highlight the fact that you submit the portfolio on a flash drive, and you must submit two. The flash drive or CD or DVD must be labeled with the name of your advisor, your name, your 8000 number, the semester, and a title. And it must be submitted to the address below. And then you must submit a modified version to the EPS system, which includes your table of contents page, your resume, education statement, portfolio planning document, and standards essay, all in one Microsoft Word document, and upload that to the portfolio. Do not include any evidences in this because that will make your file too big. Now, we will go to this folder because this folder contains helpful instructions for you when you are going through the technical process of creating your portfolio. So we're going to look at creating the portfolio CD document, which is this document right here. And this step-by-step process is instructions for any of the formats you will be using, the CD, the DVD, or the flash drive. So the first thing you need to do is set up your file structure on your hard drive. Do not set it up on your flash drive or CD. Set it up on your hard drive, because then you will be copying everything over to your flash drive, and this ensures that your internal and your external links will be working. So, on your hard drive, make a new folder entitled Last Name Portfolio LME 590, and here's a screenshot that shows this. Then within that folder, create another folder entitled Materials Last Name Portfolio, and this is where you will put all of your evidences, and just go ahead and put all your evidences into that folder. My advice to you is to make your file names short and simple, because sometimes there is a hang-up when making internal and external links with file names. You can use, and then you will be creating a table of contents page, and you can either use Advanced Word, PowerPoint, Publisher, or a web authoring tool to create that. This page does not go into the folder. This one is the page that users will be using in order to access the contents of your folder, so that's why it's table of contents. Then locate all the documents you need for the portfolio and place them in the materials folder. Okay, and that includes your resume, your personal education statement, your professional planning document, your self-evaluation of standards, your portfolio evidence, your practicum documentation video, and your practicum documentation presentation, which may or may not include your practicum documentation video. Then create your table of contents pages using the program of your choosing, and save the file as table of contents with your last name portfolio. Very easy for us to find that page that way. On that table of contents page, make sure you list your name, your WKU ID number, the name of your advisor and the date, your concentration area, library media or educational technology, and then provide links to your resume, your education statement, your planning document, your standards essays, and your links to the evidences, including the practicum video, practicum documentation, etc. Then go through the process of making the links from the table of contents page to your evidences. And most of the methods for making these hyperlinks in different programs is pretty much similar, and I will demonstrate this in a little bit. So what you need to do basically is make sure that all the materials in your materials folder are there and that they have simple file names. Then you will use your hyperlink tool to go in and highlight the text that you will be linking on your table of contents page. Select your hyperlink tool and then select the file name of the thing that you will link to. And what you need to do is examine the path name once it's in there, that's down there, so that it only contains the folder materials and then the file name. So, as an example, here are a couple of different table of contents pages, and you will see that the required information is there, and then very simply and plainly all of the required information is hyperlinked. So that's Microsoft Word, and notice that there are it's visually pleasing, there's decorative elements that allow people to understand the organization of the table of contents page. Here is another example using PowerPoint. And then here is another example using Microsoft Publisher. So, just as an overview, you will see that my screen shows the professional portfolio folder here. Then inside that folder, there's a folder called Portfolio Evidence, and then a folder also called Table of Contents. And then inside the portfolio evidence is, for example, the standards essay document. And notice again, short file name. So let's go into my sample table of contents page, which happens to be the portfolio document. And let's go through the process of creating a hyperlink to the standards essay. So, for example, this is what I will be using for linking. So I've highlighted that, and then I will insert a hyperlink. I'm going to Portfolio Evidence, and I select the standards essay document. So all I see in the address is the name of the folder and the name of the item. So I select OK, and then I double check it. I always double check stuff. And I look down at the bottom at the link, and what I see is Houston Portfolio, Portfolio Evidence, Standards Essay Doc. Okay, so I know I've done that link correctly. Now, what I'm going to do is provide you with an example of how you're going to copy this. Once you have your portfolio developed on your hard drive, you are going to copy it to your flash drive. So what you need to do is go bring up your flash drive. And I've got one in here already, and you see that it's empty. And I have them side by side, and I select I do select and then control select, and that selects both of them, and I drag them. Okay, and so now I have the portfolio on my flash drive, and what I suggest that you do is to check all the links once they're on the flash drive, and if you have problems, you'll need to repair them. And then something else that you should probably do once you've created your portfolio is to test it on other computers to make sure that all the links are working and you haven't made any mistakes. So basically, that is the process for developing the technical aspects of your portfolio. Once you've got that done, then you also need to create the modified version, which is just a matter of taking all those files and putting them into one Microsoft Word file. So if you have any other questions or you're experiencing difficulties with creating your portfolio, make sure you post your questions to the discussion area of Blackboard, because students often have similar problems. Now, before you begin your portfolio and before you submit your portfolio, it is my suggestion to you to make sure that you review the rubric for the professional portfolio to make sure that you have everything that's required for a proficient portfolio. So here's the rubric, and you'll see that the portfolio design and organization worth 100 points. Proficient is that the portfolio has a professional look, it's visually pleasing, and the reader or viewer can proceed through it in orderly fashion. All the links work, and there's few spelling and grammar errors. Also, the notes say that you must include your name, your WKU ID, your advisor name on the flash drive, on the actual item, and on the table of contents page. The requirements for the resume is that it contains both professional and educational experiences, specifically in the area of assuming the responsibilities of a media specialist, and the style is very professional. It's well organized with little spelling or grammatical errors. Your personal education statement, it should both be personable and professional. It's a 3 to 5 page essay. It's a reflective essay that is an overview of your development of your knowledge, skills, and attitudes in educational technology or library media. It uses APA citation style and addresses all the areas required that are listed in the instructions, which include life experiences and influences, development of your professional identity, connections to professional standards, and also has few spelling and grammatical areas. Also, something important to note is that it must include references to at least 4 articles from the field, influential articles from the field, to be proficient. Your evidences for your artifact, again, for proficiency, is a minimum of 2 per standard element, and these are listed on your professional planning document. The evidences are high quality. They're not just discussion board postings, they are rather high quality, very intensive kinds of evidences, such as your instructional design project, and that they show mastery of your knowledge and skills in your standard element at the proficient level. Then we have your practicum evidence, and this is your digital storytelling presentation, and provides a well-developed picture of your experiences with students and faculty working in the Media or Technology Center. The photos and the videos and the print document are very high quality, and the presentation is well put together and visually pleasing. So there is the rubric. Make sure that you review the rubric and the instructions prior to and after developing your portfolio so that you don't overlook anything. Again, during this process, I will be more than happy to review any of your essays that you have written, and be willing to answer any questions that you have related to developing the professional portfolio. Just please make sure that you post them to the discussion board.